Good morning.
Good morning.
I would really want to say thank you for allowing me this opportunity to get some feedback on your experiences of silent counselling. So if you could just share a little bit about who you are or what you do professionally, just to start us off.
Okay. So I am Alina and I've been in recruitment and headhunting for the past 40 years. Um, I've had a very fortunate career trajectory that has led me to, I guess, the top of my game, including serving a couple of terms on the Recruitment Employment Confederation, which is the governing body for professional recruiters who lobby Parliament, voted in by my peers. I've had a fantastic career.
That sounds amazing. So what drew you to silent counselling initially then? Where did you see it? What came up for you?
Now,
What pulled
this
you
is
in?
really strange, really strange. I, for some reason, I was on Facebook and something came up and it was an advert for you. And I had no idea who you were. You know, I wasn't looking for counselling and it said silent counselling. Um, and as someone who is curious, aka nosy, I wanted to know what that was. And literally, I believe I was drawn to you. I clicked on it and didn't think anything else about it. And then you offered to talk to me about silent counselling, and I came on to talk to you just so that I could understand what it was, because I've had so many other options throughout my 58 years of
I
living
didn't know
in
that.
terms
I
of
didn't know that.
counselling. You didn't know that, right? Okay, I was literally drawn to you. No idea anything about silent counselling, and I just felt compelled to. I was going through pretty severe trauma at the time, and perhaps you think, well, Facebook is obviously picking up on all these sad things that I'm putting on and everything, so I think there was an algorithm going on somewhere, or it's a higher power. Either or, it worked.
Both.
I wanted to know. I wanted to know what it was about.
So, what were some of the challenges or blocks then that you were dealing with before your sessions? I know you just mentioned about you were going through a
Yeah,
traumatic experience at the time.
kind of at that particular time, I had come out of a very traumatic relationship with a narcissist. And I didn't even know what a narcissist was before that. But boy, I learned afterwards. And I was feeling that everything was my fault. I was taking blame. I'm an empath. I'm a people pleaser.
Mhm.
Is my voice going to just tell you that? And I literally was probably as low as I've been for many,
Mm.
many years. And I've had quite a traumatic life. So to say that I was really low at that point, I just didn't know my next step forward. I was doubting everything about myself, both personally, romantically, and professionally, because when your logical levels of alignment are all out of sync, you just don't know which way is up. There was no clarity.
Yeah, everything seems like it all kind of falls in on itself.
Yeah,
It's almost like a domino effect, isn't it? And then
yeah,
trying to
definitely.
dig your way out of that can be the difficult part.
Yeah.
Had you tried any other therapies or healing modalities before this? Not necessarily on what you were struggling with, but
Yeah,
what felt
not
different this time?
not for that. Yeah, not for that particular issue that had just happened, but for I've had counselling throughout my life, literally from an early age. I've seen psychiatrists, psychologists. My mum had a really bad car accident when I was 9,
Mm.
and I was very lucky because it opened the door to some very talented people to help me to deal with it, because my mum was my entire world. I'm from a single parent family. And to lose her for a number of years, she was having her face rebuilt.
Oh my
At
gosh.
9 years old, it's like literally a little girl. I was brought to Dunoon when I was 9. Dunoon's a beautiful place, but I was supposed to be going to boarding school. Um, and I'd had a very charmed life in London. I went to Harrow School for young ladies. I was going to boarding school. My mum went back down to get some some furniture, and she had a car accident that changed all of our lives, and I ended up in the local comp, which again was like very difficult to deal with because I was in a different year group. I was a couple of years ahead. I was on my own. I didn't have my mum. There was a lot. So yes, throughout my life, there's been periods where I've had all sorts of counselling, psychologists, eminent psychologists, psychiatrists. So yes, I would say that I've probably had more than most.
So how did you find the experience of silent counselling compared to like sort of the more traditional talking
it's
therapies
just
then?
so it's just so different. It's really difficult to explain because I've said to you there's definitely an amount of witchery going on here somewhere. I don't even know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, but I'm fascinated by it. It's not you doing it. I know it's my body doing it now,
Yeah.
but the whole experience was, I just was expecting you to fail from the first meeting. And yeah, I, I kind of came off that first meeting and I said to my best friend, I said, I don't know what she's done to me, but I want her to keep doing it. And it was just so very different. Um, Silent counselling, working with your body, the modalities, your body telling you the answers. It sounds all a bit freaky. And I know that my kids, I'm a trained NLP practitioner, and my kids say to me, "Don't come to me with your pseudoscience, mum." Um, but this is something that I don't get, but it worked, and it worked from the first meeting. I felt a complete shift. And in reflection, I now look at other forms of counselling, and what they're doing is they're bringing up your shit and making you relive it.
Yes. Yes.
And why would you want to relive your shit? Why would anybody want to do that? It just makes you even more uncomfortable, and you're in a bad place anyway. So let's
Yeah.
pile on some more of that, let you really feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so different. Anybody watching this, it, honestly, I can't explain it to you. I wish I could, but it's so different and it's so effective.
So just like you said there, you have to relive these traumatic experiences. You have to go back in your memory, and that is what then causes the pain and the illness and the disease in your body, because you are reliving it over and over
Over and
every
over
single
again.
session. 12 sessions of counseling, let's talk about all the bad things that have happened to you, and then at the end potentially not even get any closure from
I
that
know. I'm
because you still
smiling,
feel the
Caroline,
pain.
because you by the fourth session, I was searching for things to be wrong with me because I couldn't actually remember why I was on the sessions with you. I was like, it had gone so much to the fact I was thinking, even coming onto this and doing a review of it is like, what, was I really that bad? And I know I was at the time, but I,
Yeah.
I don't feel any of those things anymore. I think differently, totally differently. So it's actually quite hard to do a reflection on it because it's
Yeah.
gone. The shit is gone.
That's it. You can't pinpoint those feelings because the feelings have gone in the instant, and
Gone.
that's the thing. So what
And
changes
going
did you
back and
notice?
taking it, I think taking it forever and finding out where it had come from, and going back and then finding out if this is going to sound again like pseudoscience to anybody watching it, but finding out where it came from, where it originated from, and then taking it away completely means that you do not relive it
Yeah.
at all. I struggle to think back about some of the things. Other things I know that there's been some fairly major traumatic things that have happened, um, that will never leave my brain, but my reaction to them totally different,
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah. What changes did you notice immediately after the sessions then? So this is obviously those changes have lasted. We started our
Yeah,
sessions in May and we're
yeah.
halfway through July, and that it's obviously had a big impact. But what did you notice immediately after the session then?
Immediate calm. I think I don't know whether you whether you hypnotized me. I'm pretty sure you did, or I self-hypnotized. I don't know, but there was a real feeling of calm. There was a couple of times I became emotional during sessions, even when I wasn't talking to you about what the issue was. My body had an emotional response. So, you know, I might feel a bit tired after a session, but I have to say that at the end of the sessions, and the way that you end them and leave people is, I'm 5'2", I felt 5'10". I was like full of joy. I would go for a walk after the sessions with my friend and the dogs, and she was just like, "What is she doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's great, isn't it?" Sorry, my phone's
Enough
going.
said.
Yeah. Here we
Don't
go.
need to talk about it anymore.
So yeah, immediately I felt better. I slept better. I had some weird and vivid dreams. Um, yeah, there's a
Subconscious.
lot goes into this. You know what goes into it. I don't, and I don't care. It works.
So you mentioned some of our sessions were silent in that.
Yeah,
What you just said there. How did that feel? Did you notice any results? Were they the same impact? Because you didn't have to,
100%.
you didn't have to share anything with me at all. We didn't talk at
No,
all to the
I,
whole thing.
I actually think that I could have done every single one of the sessions silently, because the session is, you're having the session with yourself, and your
Yes.
body and your breathing is regulating everything that's happening. So actually you don't have to say anything about what's going on in your head. But when it's in your head, sometimes I felt like talking, sometimes I didn't. And I liked the fact that I could choose which one it was. I was never pushed either way. I was never encouraged to do either way. It was just how I felt at the time. So I very much took control of my own healing, but using the techniques that you are trained in.
Yeah, so I just sit there as a facilitator, teaching
Yeah.
you what you do next and
How it,
taking you
what,
through it. Space
yeah,
holding, really,
yeah,
in a
yeah.
virtual capacity.
I felt
Did
very safe. I always felt very safe.
God, I think when you're releasing deep-rooted trauma that you have held on to for 40, 50 years, it's
Yeah,
really important to make sure that the container that we're in, because you're in your own space and I'm in my own
yeah,
space, but there needs to be that convey of you are safe to release whatever is coming up for you, because when that energy comes out, you don't know what to expect. And
exactly. And I think
different.
there's probably something that you might realize or not realize, and that is when it's online as well. Um, because it was online, I was more likely to go deep and not worry about your response. Because I'm an empath, I worry about the person that I'm speaking to and how it affects them. But being online made it easier.
Yeah, there's almost a barrier
A barrier.
there
Yeah,
of protection for yourself
yeah,
and the other person as well, isn't there? As
yeah,
well as being in that
yeah.
safe space. How have those, so when you talk about the how people have found that you are much happier now, for example, those changes must have lasted. So how has that impacted your life in general, or has that had any impact on your business or your work life
Yeah,
or
it's impacted every single part of me. So first of all, I found me again. You know, like I kind of step into my authentic, wonderful self, and I say that with kind of no apology to anyone. I feel great about me, and that's important. You know, everybody should feel great about themselves, but many don't. Um, and I think that that has had a huge impact because it ricochets into every single part of my life. I'm much more confident work wise. I'm attracting, I'm no longer seeking things and trying to get people to work with me or buy from me or trying to prove to them, you know, whether it's a qualification or whether it's an experience or a story. People are just attracted to me now, and it must be some sort of aura that I give off that gives an attraction.
yeah,
And I've become much more aware of my need to be in nature. I've done more things. I went kayaking. No, it's not kayaking. Sorry, I went paddle boarding, doing yoga in the middle of Loch Eck. I've never done that. Never in my life. Never been on a paddle board. I stood up within 10 minutes. She was saying, "Oh no, no, no. You probably won't. Do anything. Just stay on your knees. Keep it nice." I was like, "No, I can do this. I'm a warrior.
You're a queen.
I am. I'm a warrior queen."
That's so amazing. So it sounds like you don't even recognize yourself,
I
if I'm
don't.
honest.
I actually don't recognize myself, and a lot of people who I haven't seen for many months have started saying to me, "What is going on?" They might see me on social media and they're like, "What's happening to you?" I'm like, "It's great, isn't it?" So yeah, a lot of people are seeing huge differences. My dad and my children, the closest people to me, have seen such a transformation in a very short space of time. They're just obviously really happy for me. They you know my daughter yet hasn't had the privilege of working with you. I hope she will one day. My son has, and he now gets it completely. Um, yeah, if I could gift this to everyone I know, that's what I would do. If I win the lottery, you're going to be a very, very busy woman working purely with people that I know.
That's me signed up for the next few years then.
100%.
So you said that you've obviously got your son and your friend, obviously, and we are working with. What moved you to
Yeah.
do that? It was literally
So
within like a week of you'd finished your sessions, you were like, nope, I need to do this.
yeah, I'm a very decisive person, and I'm also very attuned into the way people are feeling. And I had a friend who I felt needed a shift, and I felt so strongly about it. I wanted to gift him an opportunity to work with you, and the shift in him is just like we can't stop him now. He's driving me insane. I love him to bits. He's driving me insane. He's going to be a very wealthy businessman one day, and I'm paying it forward so that he can take me all over the world when he is. But I've seen the shift in him, and I've seen a huge shift in my son. So I would love to be able to gift it to everyone. I don't have an endless amount of funds, but I think that that what I paid and what I pay for them is worth every penny. It's difficult to say to someone because everybody wants something for nothing, but what you charge isn't enough for what you do, for the results that you do. That's
I think
that's my
because it's
opinion.
it's an instant thing. You don't come to me, you don't need 12 sessions on one issue in your life, and then you figure out that that actually wasn't the issue, it was a different issue, and you got to do another 12 sessions. And then
Yeah,
before you know it, you're 6 months in and you've still not dealt with the first issue that you came with. It's completely
exactly.
different. You are coming with one issue and you leave without that issue.
Without the issue. That is the thing. And I think people spend lots of money in small amounts trying to overcome issues or how they feel. And you can't compare it to a massage, but you go massage, you go back again and again and again and again, or a chiropractor, you go back again and again and again. The issue returns and you come back. With this, okay, I'm months in. I honestly believe that I'll be years in going, no, what was the issue? It's gone.
Yeah, long lasting change, that's the complete difference. And I
Yeah,
think people then come to you and think, I want something for nothing, or I want to pay the same as what I'd pay somebody to go and do counselling at £60 a
yeah,
session. And
yeah.
it's just not the
There's
same.
no
60
comparison.
pound a session, 12 sessions later, one issue, you're still not over it. You're
Yeah.
£700 down and not really covered anything. And you
Well,
can get
you're
in with
picking
one session and it's
feel
gone.
worse because you're going over it again and again and again. And
It's
the difficulty is that people won't get it until they do it. So my
yes.
advice to anybody is JFDI.
Oh,
Just
just do it.
yes,
Go, just do it.
it's the
Exactly.
Dilbert School of Management, JFDI. And then when it's proven right, you can go, thank you.
Yeah. Correct. So, what would you say to somebody else who is the same high achieving person that you are, entrepreneur, or someone that feels stuck and thinks they've tried everything else? What would you say to them?
Please do one session, please, because you owe it to yourself. You deserve
Yeah.
it. You deserve to be unstuck, every one of you. And until you become unstuck, you don't actually realize how stuck you were. That sounds a little bit Irish, doesn't it? But it's so true.
That is very true, actually. You then, but then you might do what you did and buy 6 sessions and get to 4 and go, oh, that's all my issues gone. Now what do we do?
Yeah, but then what was great was we then talked about, one that we did at the end, money and manifestation, and it's so true. I have throughout my life had very high achieving roles where I've made millions for other people, and there was a block in doing it for myself. That block's gone. So watch this space, guys.
I'll look forward to all the people that I'm going to be paid when you've got your million then.
Exactly.
That's paying it forward, isn't it?
It
I've
definitely.
helped you. You're going to help me in
Yeah,
return.
100%. I would absolutely. Yeah, because I want people to feel as good as I do about their lives. I want to share that. I want to be surrounded by people. And we had a very brief conversation of how some people in my life have eradicated themselves. And they tend to have
Fascinated.
been the people who were draining and sucking the life out of me. I don't want those people around. Radiators, not drains. Surround yourself with radiators.
Yeah, yeah, your energy speaks volumes. Once you've done this, I don't know if you experience this. I know when I did my own when I do my own personal sessions, when I'm releasing something, it almost feels like there's a gap, there's a space in me that I didn't know was there because it was
Yeah,
filled with other things. And once you've got those gaps, you can then start to fill it with the right things,
the right
not
stuff.
necessarily the things that are draining and heavy and cause you upset. You can actually
Hmm.
then go out and do paddleboarding or yoga
Yeah,
paddleboarding that you've never done before, that lights you up, that fills you with that joy. And as a result of you radiating that energy, of course you're a magnet. You're going to attract the same sort of people, the same type of experiences. And it's the same thing when you get the domino effect when you're on the spiral down. Once one falls, you don't pick yourself up from that, you're going to very quickly attract the same things.
I agree. And there are people that I use, because the type of business that I'm in, I use LinkedIn quite a lot and as a social network. And I've started to put more personal things about myself, maybe when I've gone wild swimming, a photograph of that, and then 2 hours later I'm ready for an interview. I'm a completely different person. But it's attracted people to speak to me that have never engaged with me before, and they want to work with me. And
Yes.
I haven't reached out to them, they've reached to me. And that, so I believe that in terms of uh, an opportunity to gain more of your tribe, I call them my tribe. If you
Yeah.
attract your tribe of people, and that includes the type of clients, I don't want to deal with all clients. Some of them are
Yeah.
awful to deal with. I don't want to work with them. I want to work with people who want to work with me, and we have a two-way relationship, and we both get something out of it. I'm getting money out of it. I deserve that because of what I do. I'm very good at what I do. And vice versa. They're a good client, they're attracted to my energy, we work together well, everyone's happy. It sounds like a perfect life. And I'm really sorry if anybody's watching this and going, yeah, it does. It is. It can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. So, just in summary, then, what would you say in one sentence? Might be quite hard. What silent counseling has given to you?
I feel quite emotional saying this. My future.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Silent counselling has given me my future that I deserve.
You
Thank
do
you.
deserve it. You absolutely
I know.
do. I'm so sorry I made you upset, but
It's all right.
yeah.
I was doing really well. It's a no, it's a pride. I feel really good about where I am, and I know that you've enabled that, and I'm so grateful. Always will be.
I'm so grateful that you've allowed me to share this with the world because I think it's so difficult trying to get people to understand the modality. And even if I talk to
Yeah.
people of how what you do, what we do in the sessions sounds crazy. So that's
You
the
know,
difficulty.
I think it's probably better for people to not know
Yeah,
what you do,
correct.
because if you, yeah, that's it. That's another piece of advice, is come in with an open mind and let
Yeah,
what happens happen.
yeah, for sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Allena. I am
You're
so
welcome.
looking forward to you seeing the transformations with your son and your friend. And yeah, I apologize. I opened up a can of worms for him, and now he's unstoppable.
Absolutely.
And we've still got another session to go. We're only 2 sessions in.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye bye.